Heya, this is Sydney, and I am here to talk us through April 15th, 2025, which is a Tuesday, which is Mars's day. And today we have Mars at last most anoretic degree, trying to wrap up that Cancer story, right, about protection and home and mothering and nurturing, right? Some things about this Mars in Cancer story, which has been lasting forever. And I cannot wait for it to get out of this sign. We have been very cranky, very crabby, very Cancer crabby, right? And this story is wrapping itself up. So we're pretty happy about that. Now, I think today for Tuesday, the day is going to start out pretty cranky crabby. Lots of adjustments, sensitivity, feeling kind of wounded in a way. And I say that because of the quincunx to Chiron that the moon in Scorpio at its very last degrees is kind of making today. And this creates a sort of like inner anxiety and not feeling great in our bodies, not feeling great emotionally, feeling wounded, feeling hurt. We have a moon quincunx sun at 8:42 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is, our habits and our mood, and then our kind of ego, goal, creative desires are not jiving, right? So there's like two aspects of our kind of what makes our identity, and they're not talking well together today. But there could be also just some frustration and going forth in the ways that we want to go forward. Now, the mood starts to shift. We're not quite there, but we do have a lovely moon trine Venus at 8:51 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, this can kind of bring a smoothing over and feeling a little bit more comfortable, right? Feeling a little bit more connected and good. I like this particular aspect. Venus is exalted, and even though the moon is in Scorpio, not great, she loves Pisces. Two water signs. This is intuitive, this is emotional, this is spiritual, right? At 10:22 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, could be getting some sort of emotional shock hit, some sort of awareness, especially around things that have to do with value, resources, and our sense of security and stability in this world. And that's because of the moon opposite Uranus in Taurus. And that's at 10:22 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if something just goes, whoa, like, you know what's going on. And Uranus is in the 25th degree. So if you have 25, around 25 degrees, give or take 3 on either way of the fixed signs, you could be feeling this aspect the most potently. Now, things start to smooth out, and I think it's because we have this sort of awareness, and then we get some flowing aspects, a way to get things done today. We do have the moon going out of bounds for the rest of the week, so this can make us a bit emotionally hyphy, a bit over the top in terms of how we're feeling, and especially with her being in Scorpio, finishing things up. I think we're feeling really intensely right now, but the mood should lighten tomorrow. So just keep on holding on. We have the moon trine Saturn. This can bring a sense of emotional stability. That's at 11:39 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Then we have the moon trine Mars. I like this aspect for going and getting things done. This is like the juices are flowing, our habits and our drives are working. We're able to kind of check off some things from our list to get them done. I like this aspect. So really it's like our work day, like we're frustrated in the morning and then we have some sort of realization and then our work day starts cooking with grease. We have moon trine Mercury. This is like nice flowing, conversational, able to communicate and think more clearly, despite the fact that we still have Mercury in the last degree of Pisces for most of the day. And then, so great, evening time happens. I think the mood sort of lifts up a little bit. We have the moon entering Sag, so she gains some dignity. She is really concerned with her freedom, with, truth. She's philosophical. She's interested in venture and doing her own thing. We love a moon in Sag. They're just kind of out there. just kind of shoot off into their own adventures. We do have the moon in Sag trine that Neptune in Aries. And I think that this is kind of a dreamy, imaginative, passionate around our own personal stories and, the idea of truth and fighting for our truth. This could be just a really creative trine. I really like it. And then we get this biquintile to the sun in Aries. And I really love this like passionate biquintile. It's like all of a sudden, it's almost like you become the life of the party in a way. Like you're able to just kind of be free and flit from place to place. That's kind of what it feels like to me. And then at 11:25 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is kind of the biggest thing of the day, is Mercury re-enters Aries, right? And so now she is no longer in a detriment. She is no longer fallen. She is gaining some dignity. Today, Mercury is a girl. Mercury changes gender all the time. All of the planets do for me. But Mercury starts kind of shooting from the hip, right? Speaking a little fast. After its journey in Pisces, and he's like, I'm in this dreamy, kind of poetic, like liminal, surreal space where I'm thinking in colors and, poetry snippets and like orbs. Now it's in Aries and it's like, okay, I got what I needed. Now I'm going off on my adventure. And I am very concerned with my own sense of freedom and identity. He's really can kind of be straight to the point, but not necessarily thinking thoroughly before he speaks. But this is in the middle of the night. But now, as we go forward into the week, we have Mercury in a better situation. Venus is in an exaltation. The sun, for a couple of days is still in its exaltation in Aries. So I think we're just going to be feeling like we're moving forward, even though there's still, obviously, we all live in this world, some frustrating things that are happening. Okay. So may Tuesday, especially through the afternoon to the evening, really allow you to get things done. Take care.
Hey, thank you for listening to today's Astro Weather with me. I'm Sydney. As a reminder, I'm always open to seeing both new and my beloved returning clients. My website is ddastrology.com. That is D as in dog, D as in dog, astrology.com to check me out, and just click the email buttons in order to schedule with me. If you're into a more conversational feel with your podcast and content, I have a podcast called BS Astrology with my fellow Mercurial Mommy Bender, and we put out episodes every Sunday for the week. Just search BS Astrology on YouTube or wherever you enjoy listening to your podcasts, including Spotify, Audible, and more. Have a good day.